Good morning. My name is Kelsey Holt, and our service leader today is the Reverend Lori Whittemore. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Saco in Biddeford. This service is being live streamed and recorded. For those joining us on YouTube, we encourage you to have a candle or chalice to light when we light ours here in a few moments. Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whomever you love, we are glad you are here with us today. The theme for the month of May is Awakening Curiosity. We invite you to contemplate this theme with us today and carry it into your daily life when you leave here. Let us welcome the youngest members here today. May we recognize their noises and rustlings as our next generation participates in worship with us. We commit to be co-stewards of this unceded ancestral land of the Wabanaki Confederation and to work toward a world that is just and thriving for the whole of the web of life. We invite you to take home the order of service for information and announcements, or you may leave it for recycling as you exit the sanctuary. Please refer to the back of the order of service to see the announcements for this week. Please silence your cell phone, and in case of emergency, we have exits in the back of the sanctuary as well as the side door. There will be a social hour in the parish hall after the service, and today that is the Canvas Luncheon hosted by the board. Please join us for conversation and refreshments, etc.
Words for lighting our chalice. This is our sacred promise, to gather together in peace, to seek truth in love, to serve human need, so that all shall grow in harmony with the divine. almost forgot it was me, like that this was mine to do. Good morning. Welcome to this time of gathering, this moment when we get to pause from the busyness of our lives and remember that we belong to one another. We belong to something bigger than just ourselves. In this community, we practice stewardship in every way, shape, and form, not simply as a budgetary task, which is important, but as a spiritual commitment to one another, a promise to care for what all of us love and to sustain what sustains us. Stewardship in a Unitarian Universalist congregation is an act of faith. And for the new folks who are visiting us for the first time, we don't talk about money every week, really. But it's what keeps the lights on and what keeps the coffee purchased, which is really important to me. And the music flowing and the organ going. But it also keeps the justice and compassion going and makes space for grief and celebration. It's how we keep the doors open and the heat on, not just the physical doors, but the welcoming doors for people who might not be welcomed elsewhere, who don't feel safe elsewhere. Today we may reflect on what it means to be caretakers, all of us, of a shared ministry. That's what today is. I'm so glad that you're all here. And I have to say welcome, because you're the ones who make this space sacred. And the only requirement is that you show up as your full selves in your joys and in your sorrows and in all that you are. So welcome. Welcome to a community that is just beginning. Welcome. And join us in singing hymn number 38, Morning Has Broken. Now's the time where we turn and greet our neighbors. Hello, neighbor.
This is the time in our service when we invite people to share what is in their hearts, whether it is a great joy or a deep sorrow. It is not a time for announcements or political statements. If you wish, please come forward to light a candle. Tell us your name if you'd like and share your joy or sorrow with us if you choose to do so.
People get up here. I lit a candle for, I know he's going to be embarrassed, but for Ryan, who just celebrated his birthday. I won't tell you which one, but it was a young one. So please say happy birthday to Ryan.
I'm Lori, and I've missed being in my beloved community, but I just had this sacred gift of being with my stepfather as he passed and helping with that whole process. And the next step will be being with my mother, that we think she has a couple more weeks, hopefully. And then my mother-in-law is also in hospice, so it's been an adventure. And my husband's total knee replacement has gone really well, so that's exciting. And then there's been all these little miracles that at my mom's, we were working in the barn cleaning stuff out, and there was a bucket that was my stepfather's brother's second wife's stuff. So very, very, very removed. And we looked at it, and when I was little, we lived in the Philippines, and then we moved to Alaska, and then we moved to Bow, New Hampshire. In it was in the bucket was slides from the Philippines. They were there 8 years before us. Kodiak, Alaska, they were 8 years before us. And Bow, New Hampshire, they moved down the road from us 8 years before us. How is that possible?
Mine is a sorrow and a joy. The process of healing takes a long time when you lose someone. And some folks here are very helpful with that kind of thing, so I'm glad I'm here for that. And also, I wanted to say that last night, we had so much help and love to set up for lunch today. And then this morning, we had so much love and help to set up this morning. And I just want to say, I've come to expect that kind of thing, and I'm kind of worried about that. But thank you.
Morning. It's Carol Hunt. It's May. And at the end of May is when my husband of 50 years passed away. So I'm walking towards that date, which is obviously very hard. I'm also cartooning my life, and part of the cartoon is that Scott passed away 2 days before my birthday. So at the end of this month, there's the Scott sad day, and then my birthday, and then immediately after that is when I leave this area and drive my 5-hour drive to Lake George, back to my house. So I pray for my steps forward, and I am also grateful. I'm grateful that I believe I'm being helpful in my son's shop in town. Although I can hear his eyes rolling as soon as I say that. I'm being helpful, right? But while I'm sitting at the desk, I have resumed being able to draw my cartoon. For a little while, I couldn't do anything. But now I'm doing that again. I'm grateful for all these steps forward. And I'm very grateful to be here.
Good morning. I'm Alicia. I wanted to share lots of joys for just yesterday in general. Last night, we had a wonderful community game night. Lots of faces, lots of folks that are from our congregation, but also from external to our congregation. It was so fun, and I had a couple of moments where I was setting up the pizzas, and I envisioned like Thanksgiving dinner. And I was like, wow, well, the food looks a little bit different, but still, my heart was so happy to just be in shared community with everybody and having dinner and having fun. It was so wonderful. And then another moment was as we were cleaning up, I was doing dishes with Catherine, and she said, I think about all the people that have been in this kitchen and cleaning up in this kitchen. And I got to thinking, yeah, our church is almost 200 years old. How many events, functions, people have been in and out of that kitchen? And it was just, I don't know. It was just something for me to think on, and it brought me a lot of happiness. So thank you to everybody who came out. Thank you for all of your help. It was a great time.
Good morning. My name is Tim Black, and I'm the head of Canvas, and here we are on Stewardship Sunday. My joy is that you're all here, but I want to threaten you. We have provided a lot of food. Anyone seen leaving will be in trouble. I keep lists, and you don't want to be on that list. So I urge you, seriously, to stop in. I shopped. I was sent by 4 or 5 women to go do the shopping. And in true sexist history, I'm not very good at it. I brought it back. They looked at the list. They looked at the quantity, and they cut it in half. So if there's not enough food, it's not my fault. They told me to shop for gluten-free people. I don't know what a gluten is, but we don't have any glutens in there. And in fact, I took great joy in buying seaweed crackers for those who are gluten-free. So this is going to be fun. My great joy is being here with you today. Thank you.
And I just want to follow Alicia with, I was at the game night with Nadine last night, my young daughter, and we had so much fun, and Alicia led the kids in some music and games, which they had a blast, and also Randa graciously donated her physical being to be piled upon and loved. So it was wonderful. I will light one last candle for the joys and sorrows that are left unspoken. Let us take a moment to hold what we have heard in our hearts.
Let's be in a spirit of reflection together. We join together to make this space sacred, and we do so by holding each other's joys and sorrows, life's big transitions, the losses that the community feels, individually and together, the joys that always bubble to the surface when we light our candles. We hold gratitude this morning for this strong and growing community of authentic and loving people. And we hold space for all of the joys and sorrows to come. So be it.
The reading today is by Marge Piercy. To be of use. The people I love the best jump into work head first, without dallying in the shadows, and swim off with sure strokes almost out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals, bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, who do what has to be done again and again. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in a row and pass the bags along, who are not parlor generals and field deserters, but move in a common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well done has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, Hopi vases that held corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry, and a person for work that is real. Please join us as you are willing and able to stand or not stand. For hymn number 126, Come Thou Fount of Every Blessing.
Please be seated. So this morning, as I mentioned or warned, we entered the sacred season of stewardship, a season not about fundraising, but about faith raising. A season not about pressure, but about possibility, not about guilt, but about gratitude. Stewardship is the moment when we pause and ask, what kind of community are we building together? What future are we willing to nurture and hope for and strive for? What hope are we ready to fund? This is a spiritual question. The deep truth that keeping a community alive is one of the holiest acts a person can commit to. And I wasn't going to go into some facts, but I want to share with you that there are, I think, at least 60, if not 65 people in the pews today. When I started right after COVID, we were lucky to have 20. And it's not about me. It's truly not about me. It's about the welcoming and inclusion and love that this community gives out. When people step through the door, they come back. When they hear what we're doing, they want to be a part of it. And what this says, honestly, as someone who knows more than probably I want to, is that our capacity to serve all of these new bodies is incredibly strained, certainly financially. But really what we want are your hearts and your bodies showing up to make coffee. These are things that we couldn't consistently do 4 years ago. And make coffee, set up chairs, clean, paint, all the things. And that's what being a community means. And it also, to me, as your minister and spiritual leader, means you show up. You show up to be in community as your full selves, whatever that looks like, and you be with each other and you support each other on our journeys. There were no children when I got here. We regularly have 5 to 9 children now. That is a miracle. We are building a youth program next year for olders, which means we'll have a youth group. That was not on the radar, so we have more RE that we didn't have. We're building later stage RE programs, religious exploration programs, all things that weren't happening. And a community is not an accident, so let me begin with the simple fact that a Unitarian Universalist congregation is all about you. We don't really have a paid staff. Some of us get paid, but we're really not a paid staff. It's run by you. I mean, is Randa here? Randa's not here, is she? I'm going to tell tales. Okay. A board chair is what we think of as a 5 to 10 hour a week, maybe even a month job. She's working 40 hours a week to do the things that we need to grow. And some of that is hire people when we didn't have to hire people before. Our polity, which means the way we run ourselves, is that we are a congregation-led and managed entity. That means we need you. And some people are worried about what they need to commit. It doesn't have to be money. It needs to be you. You need to commit spiritually. We need that. We need your bodies. And if you can't, we need you to be honest right now that it's not a time for you to commit in any way, shape, or form, because that's okay too. Sometimes you just need to be nurtured. The community is not powered by luck. It's love made practical. Every time someone signs a pledge card, every time you show up, every time you welcome a newcomer at greeting your neighbor, every time a child is taught our values and carries that wonder box around, every time the music is lifted up, we are reminded that this place is something that we all sustain together. When we pledge, we aren't giving to an institution. I don't drive a Mercedes. We are giving to a living organism. This is a living body, a community held together by our shared purpose and values, that we will include and love everybody just where they are, that we will love the earth, that we will respect the interconnected web of being, that we will support the democratic process. And when we do it in community, we become the example for the world, and the world needs us right now. So the question this morning is, are we a place of welcome? Are we a sanctuary that is searching together and supporting each one of us on our own spiritual journey? Do we cultivate compassion and truth-telling in loving ways? Do we hold each other accountable? Are we a home for the lonely, but a launching pad for the courageous? Do we help people launch their dreams of spirituality? Stewardship is not just a financial question, it's an identity question. Budgets are moral documents, but a budget is more than money. It is something that's life-giving, it's something that's liberating, it's something that's precious, it's inspiring, and it deserves to have some attention once a year because it makes us question who we are and who we want to be. When you pledge, you are saying, I want UU values alive somewhere for me, for my kids, for this greater community. I want a community that tells the truth and practices love. I want a place where justice is not just a slogan on the side of the building, but a practice of showing up. I want a spiritual home that welcomes the brokenhearted, the curious, the bold, the weary, the grumpy. I want a place that welcomes everyone. Your pledge helps create the world you hope to live in. And here's the beautiful part. None of us builds it alone. We do this work together, the work of our hands and the hope of our hearts. We come to the yard sales. We lug things from upstairs. We price things meticulously, then charge $2 for them. Don't get me started. So generosity is not measured in dollars, but it's measured in intention and attention. And what matters most is not the size of your gift, but it's the spirit of your giver. Giving is a practical practice because it aligns your actions and your values. I will invest in things that I believe in. I will support the community that supports me. I will nurture what I hope will grow. When we give, something inside of us shifts. We move from scarcity, which is something I think the world suffers with right now, is a fear of scarcity. I think that's being nurtured at the highest levels, actually. We move from scarcity to possibility, from isolation to belonging, to worried about taking care of ourselves, to wanting to take care of each other, and thus the world. Generosity enlarges the soul, it opens the heart, it strengthens our connection to one another and the world. And think of all the ways this community has touched your lives. A class that changed you or that it nourished you, a sermon that spoke to your heart, I hope there was a couple, a funeral where we held your grief, a hymn that helps you breathe again, a circle of people who don't give up on you, a moment of joy that you didn't expect, a wonder box. If you don't know what that is, come back next week. A welcome that you never forgot. These gifts are possible because someone before you gave. They believed in the community, and now you are a part of a beautiful circle. Your pledge ensures that someone else, somewhere down the road, who has not yet walked through the door, will be blessed in this community. And like I said, our capacity to welcome people is struggling. We will meet that. We've met everything. We've met having to shutter the windows and merging with another church. We've met all of that. We will do it again. But stewardship is a way of saying, I will not let the circle end with me. The gifts you give to this congregation shape the life you live within it. When you give to justice, you become more just. When you give to compassion, you become more passionate. And again, it's not always money. It's committees, and I hate to say that word, but it's not a bad word. When you give to belonging, you become more connected. When you give to hope, you become a beacon of hope, and that's who we say we are. This is the spiritual magic in stewardship. What we nurture outside is what we cultivate inside. What we cultivate inside is what we manifest outside. Generosity is not something we do. It's something we become. So here's the stewardship message in its simplest form. Wake up to the abundance in you, to the hope in you, to the possibility in you. Wake up to the community that needs your gifts and that offers you so many gifts in return. Stewardship is a sacred practice of claiming your power to change real lives in a real community. So this morning we will hear from a few of our members who have offered to share what this place means to them. They're going to share food, and then they're going to share more. Friends, you've heard the stories of people on regular basis over coffees up here. I invite you now to think about your pledge as a sacred act. Pledge not out of pressure. We're not pressuring you. Pledge out of purpose, not out of obligation, but of hope of what we will become together. Not because you have to, but because you believe in what we can build together. Let your pledge be generous, joyful, reflect what's on your heart. May we all give boldly, hopefully. May we give freely that the community may continue to grow, not for growth's sake, but so that we are here like the Who's in Whoville, and people can find their way to us when they need to be here. We need to be a beacon. We need to be the light of the world. We need to have a place for compassion to be magnified. May that always be so in these walls. Blessed be and amen. So more money talk. It's offertory time. And when we gather together as a community, we bring the gifts of ourselves, our hearts, our spirits, our time and energy, hopefully our good cheer, but not always, our talents and skills to support the work of this community within our four walls and out in the larger community. It's been our practice to share our plate every month with organizations doing good work. And this month, we're sharing half our plate, but we're sharing it with the minister's discretionary fund, and I'm able to support people in the community who are in a pinch. And there's plenty right now, just so you know. If you're watching from home, donations may be made through the Give button at the top of our webpage, uuchurchsacobiddeford.org, or checks can be mailed to UUCSB 60 School Street, Saco, Maine. This morning's offering will now be received. words for extinguishing our chalice. As we release this flame from its faithful service today, we allow the spark in each of us to burn on, to warm our compassion, to fire our delight, to light our paths today, tomorrow, and always. And now we get to sing a delightful hymn that combines one of my favorite hymns with one of my favorite beverages. Please join me in singing Coffee, Coffee, Coffee. That needs to be in the rotation. As we prepare to leave this place, may we carry with us the spirit of stewardship, not as an obligation, but as gratitude made visible. Stewardship is the quiet promise to make one another, to care for one another, to show up and sustain us. This community and our coffee exists because of many hands, many voices, and many generous hearts. So may we leave this sanctuary renewed in our commitment to one another, to a place that will feed us on the spiritual level and in the parish hall. And may we remember that together we are always building something larger than ourselves, for each other, and for our larger community.
Heaven knows how we will get
So our service is now concluded. Thank you so much for joining us. Please stay and have food or Tim's going to be super angry. And go in peace.